AOH here. What's up, YouTube? I'm giving a shout out to Sports and Fitness Rants and a couple of other people. They have some great details, but sometimes those details are buried deep in the video, and I'm going to bring a few of those out. Make sure you didn't miss them. There's a lot going around about John Stockton, and before we jump into that, with the whole slow and unathletic, white, etc., if in fact you believe that, how does someone like that manage to get by in the NBA? The skill level must be through the roof if you're overcoming that physically you have no place there. Okay, so the Utah Jazz managed to be successful by playing people who didn't deserve to be in the NBA. They beat Kobe and Shaq. They beat Charles Barkley's Rockets. They made it to the finals back-to-back years with the best record in the NBA while playing this race game where they were just putting people in because they were white, not because of their ability. Anyway, I shouldn't even be acknowledging that stupidity. Here's what is worth acknowledging. You know that new HD video that came out of the 98 playoffs? Well, there are some really clear shots of John Stockton cooking Ron Harper. And Hornacek doing it too.
It's Utah who has it. Here's Hornacek. A pull-up three in this series. It's Hornacek.
Now, this is going to put you LeBron fans in a bit of a conundrum. Either Harper sucked, which means that Jordan's teammates sucked and it wasn't really a super team, or John Stockton and Jeff goofy-looking Hornacek actually had some basketball skills. I mean, which is it? Jordan's teammates were a bunch of plumbers too? Because you guys want to make it sound like the only plumbers out there were the people that Jordan faced. To do this, I'm going to go over a couple of different videos because there's conflicting information going around. We'll start with Sports and Fitness Rants. So he says that Gilbert is coming onto his channel crying and saying, "Oh, it was my rookie year. That's why Stockton got me." Well, on ABTV, they have the clip of Gilbert Arenas bragging about what he did to Stockton his rookie year.
You got to try to score on me. My rookie year, I think I gave him like 27 easy.
Lies. That came out of Gilbert's mouth, saying that it was his rookie year. And then he says that he gave Stockton 27. And turns out it was Stockton who scored 26. Gilbert got 16 on much lower shooting percentage and fouled out. So don't be coming on another channel and saying, "Oh, but I was a rookie," when you bragged about what you did as a rookie. Nope, sorry, it came out of your own mouth. So then apparently the conversation goes on to Gilbert talking about what he did the next year, which again, he exaggerated on his success. But I've got to tell you, what kind of a person brags about what they did against a 40-year-old who is in his retirement year, a guy who like missed almost no games his entire career? You got to talk about a worn down body. And we don't even know for a fact that Gilbert actually did get the better of Stockton. The numbers, from what I've heard so far, don't indicate that. But just like, where is decency? What was that saying? Where the young guy and the old guy were both warriors, and the young guy says, I don't want to fight you. I mean, if I beat you, I'm the guy that beat an old man. If I lose, I'm the guy who got beaten by an old man. I mean, take a lesson, a little bit of wisdom, Gilbert. What kind of a person brags about, "Oh, I got the best of him," when he was on his way out? Woo! Oh, and this brings me to the excuse. Apparently he used the excuse of, being young. What do these guys do when they go to college? Gilbert played 3 years at Arizona. 20 and 21 is not a disadvantage. My God, if I could have my legs back and my energy and my quickness at age 20 and 21 and have gone to college where my primary concern was to develop my game. Gilbert wasn't there on any sort of academic focus. I'm sure they just shoved him through the door so that he could play basketball for them. Which means his primary focus was to become a better basketball player. You didn't develop your game in 3 years at college, and then you go into the NBA? Well, you're basically saying you shouldn't have gone into the NBA if you're going to say, oh, I'm too young. I was too young to go against that 39-year-old. These guys have no idea how dumb they sound. Now, Stockton was one of those guys that wasn't after numbers. He played for the love of the game because he was getting paid to. It was his job. He went out there and worked his butt off every night. And being the primary scorer wasn't necessarily his job. But against Gilbert Arenas, when Karl Malone was having a bad night, Stockton showed what he could do when they needed him to do it. Congratulations, Gilbert. You are the study case in which we learned how much Stockton could score when he wanted to score. Well done, Gil. So obviously, I'm out here hiking. It's not the right time to be dissecting footage on a tiny little screen, but it sounds like this is worth coming back to. What do you guys think? Going and looking at those games and seeing exactly what went down. But you know what? I actually would like to talk about uncommon sense for a little bit in combination with sports and fitness rants, because what Gilbert Arenas is doing is an example of there's no such thing as bad press, and there are no consequences for saying things that aren't true. There are no cases in which people have to put their feet, in his case, both feet, in his mouth because he was wrong or foolish. And we can tie Shannon Sharpe into this. And, these guys, even LeBron did it when he failed and didn't want to own up to his failure. They start talking about their money or their popularity or their success. It's really gross. And I don't know why this was in the feed, but it reminded me that I saw this post about a hooker was bragging about making $1 million or something as an escort in New York. And I thought, okay, so now it's cool to sell your body for money. That's not anything to be ashamed of anymore. As long as you made a certain amount of money, what you did doesn't matter. Your behavior doesn't matter. Your lack of ethics, your lack of morality, none of it matters. And guess what? Shannon Sharpe, you fall into that description. You think that you can act like a freaking fool and show the youth exactly how a man should not behave and defend it by saying, oh, you can't criticize me because you don't have enough followers. You don't make as much money as me. What a message. What a message to send. You piece of trash. Gilbert Arenas, I'm sure he talks about having more money than us, but he really likes to talk about being an ex-NBA player. Okay, you made it to the NBA. Now you can be an idiot. Spend the rest of your life showing people how to behave like a fake adult, like a pathetic man, like an embarrassing excuse for what little boys should be looking up to. Hey, you played in the NBA. Go ahead, make an ass of yourself on a daily basis, because we live in a society that will pay you to do that. Way to be a leader, Gil. Let's go back to Gilbert Arenas feeling the need to brag about beating John Stockton. I have the sneaky suspicion that the footage is not going to look nearly as cool as Gilbert is trying to make it out to be. But I'm trying to think of an example from my own life. My dad or my older brother way older than me, they got the best of me forever. And then they got old. I outgrew both of them. And came the day where I could beat them in basketball. By then, where's the joy in it? It's not like I beat them at their primes. But I do have an example from now, because now I'm the old man. And you get these kids, they just don't have any sense. They don't know when to keep their mouths shut. And they look at me and they think, oh, I'll beat this old man. And I work them. And I work them badly. Like it's embarrassing. And I'm not talking. For one, these kids are so sensitive now that if I start talking, they'll probably walk off the court and I won't get to finish the ass whipping. And the other reason is, how much joy am I going to get out of it? The kid clearly isn't that good. At this stage in my life, at this age, I need to talk trash to a kid that I'm whipping? No, I don't. Which I guess makes me more of an adult than Gilbert Arenas. Now, I will talk about Gilbert leaving out context a little bit, because I'm stealing from Sports and Fitness Rants. He broke down the numbers, but if you guys didn't hear it, you should hear it. So Gilbert tries to brag about the following year getting 19 on Stockton and leaves everything else out. Gilbert didn't mention that his team lost. Didn't mention that Stockton had 15 and 7 assists. I can't emphasize the fact that Stockton won enough, because doing your job and doing what your team needs in order for you to win is more important than getting numbers. It seems like today people don't understand that, which is kind of mind-blowing. Stockton only played 28 minutes. Arenas played 47. You got 4 more points. Well done. That turnover to assist discrepancy between what Stockton had and Arenas had, that right there is the difference between winning and losing.
8 assists a game to only 1.7 turnovers. Their man averaged 8 assists and 1.7 turnovers. Gilbert Arenas averaged 5 assists on 3.5 turnovers. You see the dynamic there? But Gilbert Arenas wouldn't post John Stockton's assist numbers. He just posted his points.
Now, you guys know how I feel about turnovers. I think they're devastating. I think they take the wind out of your team, hurts the momentum. I think you need 3 to 4 assists to make up for a turnover, at least. Gilbert was high on turnovers, low on assists, and not particularly high on his shooting percentages. John Stockton, on the other hand, had an incredible assist to turnover ratio. But as long as we're talking about the assist thing, again, why is Gilbert calling out a guy who is known for his assists and not known for his scoring? I mean, do you want to turn the tables, Gilbert? What was your career high in assists? 16. John Stockton's 28. And that was not like some freak event for John Stockton. He also had 27 in a game, 26 in a game, 24, 23, 23, 23, 23, 22, 22, 22, you know, and on like that. So Gilbert's record by comparison goes 16, 15, 14, 13, 13, 13, 13, 12, 11. Yeah, great job. Now, in addition to games like this with 28 assists, you also have where Stockton comes through with big points and big assists and does it when it matters. This is the Western Conference Finals. A winning effort, doing what needs to be done for your team to make it to the finals. Gilbert, what are your best numbers from when you played in the Western Conference Finals? Oh, right, you never made it that far. I tell you what, in the apology dinner, when you take Stockton out, paying for it, of course, with the money you are making, disparaging the old school players, you can ask John Stockton what it felt like playing in the Western Conference Finals and the finals.
And it gets better. The shooting percentage.
All right? Gilbert Arenas went 4 of 10 from the field, 0 of 2 from three-point range. He didn't put that, though. He didn't put that down. He took 10 shots and scored 10 points, guys. Does that sound like somebody doing anything out there on the court except for shot chucking? Scored 10 points on 10 shots. Not impressive. This is Gilbert Arenas. Then he had 6 turnovers. See, he won't put the turnovers there, though, will he? He has 6 turnovers and 6 assists. So once again, the assist-to-turnover ratio is horrendous. For every assist, he turns the ball over. This Gilbert Arenas, guys, once again, not a point guard, not a passer, not a floor general, not a leader, none of these things. He's a shot chucker extraordinaire. And he had 4 fouls in that game. 6 turnovers, 4 fouls, 6 assists, 4 for 10 from the field for 10 points. So he put 10 points in John Stockton 7. But he won't say that John Stockton had 11 assists in that game to only 2 turnovers. He won't put that there. 11 assists and 2 turnovers compared to Gilbert Arenas, 6 turnovers and 6 assists.
It just gets worse and worse for Gilbert. Do you guys ever think that maybe you should just keep your mouth shut because people are going to go back and look up the true story and it's going to expose you? Again, I guess not. Because there aren't any consequences. The dumber Gilbert Arenas is, the more viewers he has. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, that's just the way society is. It's sad. You can brag that you're making money by making a fool of yourself and being a bad example, or you can be one of the good examples out there. People like Shannon and Gil, who made plenty of money as pro athletes and then made more money after that, to think that you need to do gimmicks in order to keep making money? Come on, man. If anyone has the luxury of making money with integrity, it's you guys who already have a nice, steady financial base. You guys don't get the excuse of wanting to make more money. Therefore, I pull these stunts. All right, well, if I keep going, I'm basically just going to be repeating sports and fitness rants this episode. Gilbert Arenas is cherry-picking numbers that look, scoring-wise, better than John Stockton's, who was not even a scorer. What are you doing, Gilbert? What are you doing?
Jazz shoot more free throws than anybody in the league. Warriors are second.
And Karl Malone has shot nearly 14 free throws a game against the Warriors. 5. Here, Lanko right around Jamison to lay it in.
He just, in the first half.
No rebound.
And no rebound. That's what I look at.
That made free throws first point tonight. Malone.
What's going to transpire here? Wait for a little pick and roll with Malone.
Stockton dropping it in. Biggest shot of the night. Puts the lead to 6.
Second 3 made of the night.
Stockton Malone. Here's the pick and roll. They've run forever.
Stockton wanted to use more time.
Stockton calling his own number.
It's like a free throw for him. But I think it's going to
play.
Going to be a pick and roll. What do you think?
Foul. Arenas has just fouled out of the game. More free throws for Utah. Mark Osowski congratulating John Stockton, who just is a marvel. He finishes with 26 to lead all scorers on 7-11 shooting, 12 of 12 from the line.
No money. I'm not here for the money. You don't have to pay me for this stuff. I'll come there and embarrass you for free. And that's why I told him he should be paying me for the education that I've been giving him.